White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt defended the administration's decision to bar an Associated Press (AP) reporter from the Oval Office, emphasizing that access to the president is a privilege, not a right. In a tense exchange with CNN's Caitlin Collins, Leavitt made it clear that the administration reserves the discretion to control press access, particularly when it believes media outlets are spreading misinformation.
And finally, which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus. Many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the president questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who's in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server, and Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world. Sure.
It is a privilege to cover this White House. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, Leavitt stated. The controversy stems from the AP's refusal to adopt the administration's terminology, referring to the body of water off Louisiana as the Gulf of Mexico rather than the newly designated Gulf of America. Leavitt justified the move, citing the Interior Department's official renaming and the adoption of the term by major tech platforms. It is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America, she said. Apple has recognized that, Google has recognized that, and pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that. Collins pressed Leavitt on whether barring the AP reporter was retaliatory, raising concerns about the administration's stance on press freedom. Leavitt pushed back, asserting, "If we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable." The decision has sparked debate over media integrity and government oversight of press access. Supporters argue that the administration is right to enforce factual reporting standards, while critics warn of potential censorship. The incident underscores ongoing tensions between the White House and mainstream media, particularly regarding control over official narratives and press freedoms.